Peace, peace, peace. What's up, everybody? What is up, everybody? I am Doggie Diamonds. Give me 1 second. Audio should be crystal clear tonight. Pardon me, last night I did something on the technical end. It messed up the audio, but tonight we should be right and exact. I made sure that I, crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's before I went live. So now I am live and direct in your face and on the screen. Let me turn his audio up so he can introduce himself to the people, because I don't need to introduce him. This is not his first time on my program. Actually, this is like his 80th time on here, all the way back to DTF Radio. Introduce yourself to the people who don't know who you are.
This is Hakim Green, Channel Live and Direct, BDP all day, every day. All we do is spark mad ism.
So, me and you speak often. You end up at one particular point, moving on my block, in the 90s.
Yeah, 97, 98, something like that.
Some of the wildest times of my life when I was really, really outside. But you was good in the hood because you moved around with respect. You showed the hood love, and then you was on the block with us. So you was like didn't have to worry about nothing. Plus you a man, and like I said, this was a long time ago. So I've known you for that long, but actually I've known you when you were living on Washington with Benny Boone.
Yeah, well, Waverly was first.
Waverly was for know what?
Waverly was first.
You're right.
Yeah, so it was like just to get the setting right. It's like on the other side of Madism blow up. So it's like I'm on the other side of the blow up. So I'm struggling to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? And to have people on the ground floor show you love and respect meant a lot, because when you up here, and then you fall, and if you don't move a certain way when you fall, that's when the wolves is really like, got one.
Yeah, you in the hood now, bro. You in here. You from East Orange, New Jersey. What you doing around here?
Yeah, so it was good to have the right people on my side.
Yeah, but I mean at this particular time when you moved into the hood, because I always thought it was in reverse, but as I think about it, it was the other way around. You was on my block first, directly across the street from me.
Right
I had a studio in the crib. Everybody, I'm in the crib, crazy, doing beats every day, all day, but there was a street element going on outside also that I also was up. Was all my relatives and all my family. And my block was very communal. You knew all the dudes on the block. So when you turn the corner, hey, what's up, yo, Hakim, what's good? You know what I'm saying? But it was going down out there. The reason why that's relevant to the conversation, because of the title of the video. Now, me and you have private bills. You checked in with me when you heard about my health situation and my family situation, because you know my family, you know what I'm saying, personally. And we had a build maybe a month ago where we were talking about the street element coming into hip hop and how we thought that was detrimental to the culture, and how it shifted the culture from being peace, love, unity, safely having fun to, yo, I'm in this joint and I'm going to pop somebody because I didn't come here to have fun. I came here to stunt, and I'm about that life. So what I wanted to do is get your he rolling up. He spark madism every day. You know what I'm saying? This is easy. I wanted to get into that, and you also gave me some information earlier today with Grandmaster DXT told you what hip-hop. So if y'all don't know who Grandmaster DXT is, he's one of the founders of hip-hop. Also, as many founders, he was there, but he also told a story of what hip-hop was, how it started, and why it started. So I want you to get into that first.
Okay, so thank you for having me on the show, bro.
Always.
It's always a pleasure and an honor to come on your platform, because you represent real people, like real live people. And
no pun intended.
Yeah. It's just the way you approach the subject matter, the way you represent our people is a beautiful thing. So it's always dope to come on your platform. DXT, you know, he frames history of the history of hip hop as something that existed prior to 1973 in the Bronx, right? That hip hop culture essentially is the way black and brown people express themselves creatively from an idea. Like it's, you know, it's an idea, and then we all get on the same page and we start to, you know, it's like a vibration and we catch the same vibration. Now, what is that vibration? Essentially, hip hop is born out of b-boy culture, which is breakdance culture. Breakdance culture is dancing to the breakbeat, right? So there's a, you know, everybody knows these long James Brown records. These long records would have a part in it that's the break. That's the meaty part of the record that kind of you sample or you loop and becomes something different. Like when that part came in a record, people would then dance to it in a specific style. You had 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds in 1967, 1968, 1969. Wow.
That far back?
Right. That far back, right?
I probably was swimming around. Yeah, I was still swimming around in my...
yeah, exactly. You know
I was still in my daddy's sack.
Exactly. So, you know, he DXT is, you know, he's my OG. He's our OG.
Okay.
But he's saying that, you know, b-boy breakdance culture existed when he was 8, 9 years old.
Wow.
So he's got a set of OGs that he looks to as like the foundation of the culture. Now, what was going on in every hood in America in black people's lives when we come together, when we commune, when we celebrate, when we party, like that's no beginning. That's people bringing out their sound system, whether you're in the South Bronx, whether you're in Compton, whether you're in Jamaica. We bring out the sound systems. We try to have competition, see who could blow each other. Like all that shit was going down before there was a thing called hip hop.
Facts.
That didn't start in the South Bronx. What started in the South Bronx, however, was a culture of people dancing specifically to the breakbeat, then bringing that to the park jam, and the older people going, get these hippity hop motherfuckers out of here.
Facts.
They fucking up the pussy.
Yeah.
Try to bag this chick over here, and here they come. I'm trying to rub up on some ass and I'm trying to get the roll right now, and here they come with this circle. Y'all fucking up the party.
Okay, y'all coming with the cipher.
They call it with the cipher.
Y'all coming with
right?
the cipher.
They said they called them the boyoing boys. And that's where they get the term B-boy.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Right. DXT says hip hop was really a derogatory term. Get these hippity hop motherfuckers out of here. They come and they with this hip hop shit, dancing to this break beat, you know, and fucking up the party. But in that's youth culture rebelling against the status quo at the time. What was the status quo at the time? The status quo at the time was gang culture. Breakdance culture, b-boy culture, this new thing where we would exchange a new form of information, later called hip-hop in the 80s, as per Paradise Gray, former promoter of the Latin Quarter. He said that the term hip-hop itself doesn't get used to the 80s. The earliest, he said, was 1978 in Brooklyn.
That's okay with me.
Said,
Paradise Gray also edify it. Paradise Gray also member of the X Clan.
Member of the X Clan.
Yes, we have to put that in there.
That's right. So he says the earliest flyer with the term hip hop on it is 1978, and that's in Brooklyn. He goes, but however, the break beat culture, be it dancing or DJing, was something that was a Bronx thing. Catching the break and spinning it back, scratching it, all of that was a Bronx thing. All right. But in terms of how we relate as a people, like that didn't start in 1973, except for, you know, you got the breakdancing. Graffiti predates 1973. Rapping predates 1973, be it Cab Calloway,
Pig Meat Martin, Pig Meat
Markham,
yeah.
you know, even when you look at I thought was really dope, the Eddie Murphy movie on Dolomite. He talks about how he got started in comedy. Well, they show how he got started in comedy, basically taking these old recycled rhymes, diss rhymes, playing the dozens, talking shit about each other, shit that went back to slavery. You know what I mean? So how long we've been rapping, man, that shit go back to the African griots. That goes back to indigenous people sharing their history orally over beats. There's no birth record on spitting these bars. Spitting these bars always been around. In terms of the drum and how we manipulate sound, we look at the DJ and taking the turntable, which is what once considered an appliance.
Facts.
The turntable was classified as an appliance. Now, but because of hip hop or what black and brown people did to the turntable, it's now an instrument.
Yeah, because at one point it was an all-in-one. And you used to stack all these records on top of each other. That record played, and then it was a thing where automatically it would go to the different record, and the record would drop.
You stack all the platters. You
stack all the records. That was you stack.
It had that thing that you had to press down.
Facts.
And when you was a kid, you could never figure out how to press that.
Yep. Yes. You talking about that little thing inside of
inside on the stick. The stick was up. You had to press it to get the platter to go down.
Yep.
Anyway, but just our creativity and taking something and flipping and bouncing it, which again, when the whole idea of hustler culture, which even though we're talking about street culture and the negative influence of street culture on our people, right? At the same time, street culture is born out of necessity because we had to create underground economies because the system wouldn't let us participate. The powers that be, the mainstream, this is before talking about the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Now, everybody got the internet. We can all commune and get on Amazon, sell shit to black people, white people, Asian people. But not too long ago, what I'm saying, black people, brown people didn't have access to mainstream America like that. So we had to form these underground economies, and it gets gangster in that sense.
Yes.
So I don't want to dismiss. There is a certain value to gangsterism. However, there's certain principles and ethics and morals and values that's been devoid on the street, in the street culture, that's fucking us up. It's holding us back.
So I totally agree with that. That was a part of our bill. So I want to talk to the when the streets, because even if you look at Beach Street, how they settled their beef was they danced against each other. Meet me at the Roxy, yeah, and don't flake. So even when the police arrested them in the train station, remember the police originally arrested them because they thought they was fighting. They were dancing. So the gang was the crew. It wasn't about violence. Now, you did have violence in the street, but when hip-hop was introduced to the streets, it was like, okay, we can settle this. We could battle on the mic. We could DJ battle. We could fight each other. And then sometimes we could just outpose each other. Who's the flyest? Yo, he had on a sheepskin. And like I said, that era is before my time. Because that might have been early 80s and all that. I was little I was very, very little at the time, so I wasn't there. But I lived through when I got a certain age and I saw Beat Street, it kind of like gave me like, oh word, this is what was going on. This, a matter of fact, Lee from Beat Street is my friend on Facebook. I've been trying to interview him for years, but Lee from Beat Street is my friend on Facebook. So
yo, that shit is huge.
Yeah, word. Lee from Beat Street. Yeah.
That shit's huge.
So, and rest in peace, Sean Price. He was talking about, yeah, I went to school with Lee from Beat Street. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, so what I want to talk about is, it's a particular time where we're coming into the culture and we're not understanding the business aspect of it. So we coming in, we getting beat, we getting robbed. And then it came a particular point where guys came in with the street element of, this is how we do in the streets to get money. And I'm going to bring that to the culture, and the way I come into the culture, I'm gonna come through with this boss mentality, because on the streets I'm a boss, but now I want my own record label. Now I am a CEO. And in my opinion, that started becoming the downfall of hip hop culture as we knew it. Where do you want to go with that?
I want to set the table with Rapper's Delight,
Okay.
which is the first major hip hop song to get national radio play, the first popularized hip hop. This is before hip hop was actually hip hop. It was a rap record. Starts out with the words hip hop, the hip it to the hip it, the hip hip hop, you don't stop to rock. Boom. Sets the stage for what would become this thing we know as hip hop culture and hip hop as a musical genre. Rapper's Delight. Rapper's Delight was on Sugar Hill Records. Sugar Hill was owned by Sylvia Robinson, Joey Robinson, and Morris Levy, solid partner.
Oh, word?
Right. Solid partner.
Well, when you say names like that, I always go straight to the last name, and I'm like, huh? Okay, we get it now.
Morris Levy. So if you research Morris Levy, you know, gangster. It's no doubt about it. You can't skate it. You know, he's from that, you know, that era, that time when you see the Godfather of Harlem, the Bumpy Johnson, and
Maya Lansky and
Morris Levy was extremely active, you know, on that level. I'm not going to get the details. Like, I could just pinpoint everything. I'm not going to, but there's a few books. There's a book called The Hitman that by it's just put music industry Hitman. The book will come up. It got a gold record with Hitman written across it. I read that back in the 90s, but it's a good detail of how the mafia basically controlled the music industry, controlled distribution,
the pressing plants and everything.
Exactly. Like, if you didn't have relationships with, you know, the mafia, especially in New York City, but nationwide, Vegas, of course, LA, like, if you wasn't playing ball with the mafia, you couldn't get into the stores. You couldn't get your, you know, your product shipped from A to B. All the trucking, all of that is mafia. The Teamsters, all that's mafia. And you know, you study the history, you know, the organizations, the unions being, you know, really mafia infiltrated, the Jimmy Hoffa. You start to hear all these names and you see the power and the influence, but then how, you know, to keep the ball rolling, black people were always a scapegoat. Black people were always a targeted market for their illicit bullshit, you know, be it drugs, prostitution. You know, the movie The Godfather, I think, details that aptly when they
said
say,
it straight out. Yep.
You know, keep the heroin, keep this with the niggas and the spics. They don't have no souls, you know. So that's how they looked at us. That's how we were targeted. With the Sugar Hill Records, the name of these Sugar Hill. Well, you know what Sugar Hill mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why we call Sugar Hill Sugar Hill?
It's not because it's not a Harlem thing.
Yeah, but why is it sugar?
Oh, that booger sugar.
That's the sugar, exactly.
Yeah, that booger sugar. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. So,
and if y'all don't know what booger sugar is, it's that Tony Montana. It's that nose candy. Nose candy is another one, but it wasn't a derogatory thing for those times. It was people that was on some.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you hear names like, you know,
Curtis Blow,
Curtis Blow.
Yeah.
T-Ski. Everybody was ski. This ski, hot ski.
Because they was getting skied up.
They getting skied up. That was in the culture.
Wow.
Curtis Blow. That's in the culture. We can't duck the fact, even when we talk about, you know, the Zulu Nation being born out of gang culture. You know, like let's be honest.
But they came into hip hop though. See, that's the thing. So it was the reverse. They came into hip hop.
They came into hip hop. See, there was a big. I don't want to get the details messed up. You know, somebody more qualified to tell the history should be telling this history, but you can research it for yourself. There's a brother by the name, I think, Black Benji, got murdered, and there was this big gang truce, you know, between all these factions in the Bronx. And some people credit that truce and his murder as the impetus for people going, stop the violence, peace between the gangs, let's keep the truce. And then because things was kind of peaceful, the Zulu Nation thing was able to happen because all these different crews was coming to the same place. You know what I'm saying? To share culture. So, you know, hip hop was kind of a reaction. Now, when you talk to Crazy Legs, he said, don't get it twisted. People like to romanticize and say, oh, hip hop was the peacekeeper and it was formed. And he said, no,
some ass
no.
whooping still going down.
It was still some ass whoopings, and it was a lot of other negative shit going on because black and brown people were living at their worst in terms of the social structure, social systems being wiped out. New York went bankrupt. This is right after the Nixon years. This is Vietnam. This
blackouts
is
in New York.
blackout.
Yeah.
This is the heroin
yes.
era. When you think of all these big names that people glorify,
the Nicky Barnes,
the Nicky Barnes, Frank Lucas. Now, you know, with all due respect, but when I walk through the community, be it New York, North, wherever black people are, there's nothing positive left over from that shit.
Yeah, what do we own?
If y'all niggas can show me the hospitals, if y'all niggas can show me the supermarket chains and the distributions, then okay. But other than that, the Godfather movie was right. Give it to the niggas. They don't have no souls. I don't subscribe to that. And I think that hip-hop was born out of the spirit of we could be much, much more. We have a voice. We have creativity. We have expression. We could be heard just amongst ourselves. We don't care about what they got to say. We're not even listening to them. Because there was other things going on when hip-hop was going on. Mm-hmm. There was a thing called disco, which is also a part of hip-hop. You can't discount disco. But there was
punk
a whole
rock,
cult.
Punk rock. Blondie, who but end up drifting into hip-hop with change the beat with Fat Five Freddy. You understand what I'm saying? Millie Jackson did I Had to Say It. That's a rap record. Millie Jackson, I Had to Say It, which was on Spring Records. Spring Records was owned by Steve Rifkin's father. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
His father owned Spring Records.
Wow.
So that was his entry to the.
Right now, I've heard some very great things about Steve Rifkin, by the way. So
okay.
I don't want to salty his name. I don't know, but
no, I don't got nothing negative to say about him.
People I've talked to, Steve Rifkin's a great guy. He's always been dope.
Well, without Steve Rifkin, we wouldn't have certain hip hop elements too.
Wu-Tang, I mean,
Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang, Big Pun, yeah.
The licks,
yes.
It's because of his realness to the culture.
Yes.
That all that happened. So, but to understanding his legacy, though, and how we should, as a people, look at legacy. His father was owner of a company in music that put out black music, and his son inherits an empire. Yeah, we don't take nothing away from Steve Rifkin in terms of his vision, hard work, business acumen. Not at all.
But he had a cheat code.
He had a cheat code, but then so do we. When, like, how hip hop was created, we really didn't care about what everybody else was doing. It was what was hot to us.
Mm-hmm.
And to us, it's us in our neighborhood, on our block, the people that we deal with, what you listening to, what you into. How did you hear that? How did you decipher that?
How you got that first sometimes?
Yeah, you got that verse? How you get that verse? Who'd you get this tape from? Yes. Who's selling the tapes? My man's
Let me get a dub. Let me get a dub of the tape.
Let me get a dub. Right. It was real. It wasn't who on the radio, what they say. Who in the magazine, what they say. Who on the website, what they say. It wasn't about them. It was about us. When we start worrying about what outsiders care about, that's when we got twisted.
Okay.
That's when we got twisted. Because then it's like, oh, that's what they doing out there? I'm going to mimic them.
You know what? Bro,
I'm going to mimic them. Nah, you don't mimic them. Do
what
you,
I think,
my nigga.
All right, but look, though.
Nobody.
But peep this, though.
Biting aloud, my nigga. What are you doing?
Peep, though. No fault of his. No fault of his. But I say that all of this started with the introduction of Master P. When did it start? When I say the mimicking, I thought it was when Master P came.
Nah,
okay.
He made Biggie a East Coast, West Coast nigga. He content wise, like, yo, the Chronic took the New York's heart, nigga.
Facts. No, we ain't gonna deny that. But
Chronic
when I
was like, shut the fuck up.
But I didn't think. But no. But look though, bust it. Right, bust it though. But when the Chronic came out, I didn't feel like us New Yorkers felt like I want to do music like the Chronic. We liked it for what we liked it for, but we still was doing the boom bap and doing the thing. When Master P came,
not Biggie's album.
Well, if we're gonna be honest, Biggie's album was patterned after a West Coast sound in the album, because and also his Tupac's influence. And it's funny though, because today is Tupac's born day, so happy born day to Tupac. Happy 50th.
To the God.
Yes.
Tupac.
Yes. Happy 50th.
that man.
Yeah.
Happy.
Yeah. Happy 50th. Cipher. Yeah. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You got me on Doggie Diamonds on Tupac's Power Cipher Day.
Yes. Today is his physical. Yep.
Salute, bro.
Yes.
Salute. Okay, I'm sorry.
So I feel like, yes, when Death Row was doing Death Row, we still didn't adapt their gang culture yet. We still was us. We still was in the Muse. We still was in Home Base. We still was doing us. We still had people out here that was representing hip hop. Biggie's album, based off of the success of the hip hop album, they wanted to duplicate that, because then it became about record sales. At one point in hip hop, if you sold 100,000, you was the man. If you went gold, remember EPMD, go and gold every album. So EPMD was revered as the greatest group, because 30 days later the LP went gold. So what you saying? You understand what I'm saying? I felt like when Master P came with the energy of the Independents, the Ice Cream Man, and Bout It, and I represent, that changed the way a lot of people looked at it, because he came in as a mogul / artist. He came in as a mogul. Dr. Dre, Death Row, we was kind of confused what was going on at Death Row. But I felt like Master P introduced to, I'm a drug dealer from the streets who's in hip hop now, and I'm coming in as a boss.
But that's Biggie. That's Biggie and Puff.
Yeah, but that's
that whole imagery, the whole imagery of Big and Puff was Frank White.
Okay, now mind
you, Biggie's one of my favorite rappers of all time. Like, it's not. I don't have the words to express the lyrical ability of Christopher Wallace.
Yes,
like, it's just
incredible.
I'm not. However, from just an image perspective, he's selling you street. Drug dealer. Lil' Kim was his hoe.
Yeah, but
Junior Mafia.
I guess maybe because I know so much.
Mafia.
I think because I know so much inside information, and I know the fallacy of a lot of that. I think I look at it different than the perception of the world. Now, the perception of the world is the reality to the world, but I know the truth.
Right.
So I never bought
just images in terms of just the image. Now, Master P was Puffy on steroids, because he was really a mogul, where Puffy's deals was not like Master P had his own distribution. Basically, the deal was flipped upside down, with Priority getting 15%, him keeping 85%. The deal, we had never seen anything like that before. So Master P, from a baller standpoint, even though lyrically wasn't the dopest shit, his image was, I'm the real kingpin. I'm the real dude. So what you're saying, yes, but Puffy's imaging was still the same shit.
I feel like it was more, but they still was trying to party too. Master P didn't come in partying. Master P came in straight up and down. Yo, I'm the ice cream man, which came from Yuck Mouth. Master P was able to extract from a lot of different people, create, because even when we remember his artwork, he bought out the source. He had like 30, and we was like, yo, what is this?
Yo, when we went to How Can I Be Down in 95,
mm-hmm.
This is before that shit hit.
But you still hip-hopping though, right? In 95, you still Matt Isserman.
Yeah, no, of course.
Okay,
of course.
So we still was but
yeah, no, but there's another thing that happened. I want to touch on that you said that. But just to give the Master P, we down there from New York, not knowing what that is at all.
Mm-hmm.
We get to Miami, South Beach. How Can I Be Down? Dopest shit ever. Big shout out to Peter Thomas and everybody involved in that shit. That shit was crazy. This dude, Master P, got like 2 big ass buses with the. Remember they had a Source magazine. They had all the art where it was all blinged out.
Yes.
The bus. Those was the bus. This was the first time we had ever seen, and we didn't understand the gaudiness, the brilliance, the big money. And then when you see the rollout, it all makes sense. It just all made sense. But that was that. Now, the 1996 Telecommunications Act is what destroyed regional music. The 1996 Telecommunications Act decentralized broadcast communications. Before 1996, there was like a lot of rules to the game where big conglomerates couldn't own like more than one platform in one space. So you couldn't own a radio station and a newspaper in one city. You couldn't own like broadcasting satellites all over the country. That was against the law. It was to protect against antitrust laws, monopoly, so forth and so on. And Bill Clinton signed in the law the Telecommunications Act, which did away with a lot of those laws. So then you got the clear channels, you got these big, super
MS Communications and
MS Communications, all that shit. The iHearts now are able to nationalize music, where before you could be hot in New York, hot in Atlanta, hot in Florida, hot in Texas, hot in California, and make a good living and be living large, hot in your region. You might go do shows other places, overseas, whatever, but basically you were a regional artist. That was the era that I come from, where you could still eat as a regional artist.
Mm-hmm.
After 1996, if you're not popping nationally, you're not going to eat. So you got to think of it like this. In New York City is the capital of the world. New York City was. I'm about to say, we got to pass since that, bro. Was one of the most progressive places in the world, in that because there's so many different people from all over the world coming to one place, there's an exchange of ideas, an exchange of culture. There's a broadening of mentality. There's a push for intellect. There's a push for the arts. There's a push for a lot of things that then give birth to culture. That what used to happen is it would happen in New York, and then 3-4 years later, it happened everywhere else.
Yes.
Right? And the whole shit around the country. Like, we used to go to New York so we could get it first.
It's funny. I went to South Carolina when I was maybe like 11, and I had a Nice and Smooth first album. And I remember playing it, and they looking at me like, yo, what is that? And I'm like, it's Nice and Smooth. They was like, yo, we don't know who that is. And I'm like, and then it made sense, because Nice and Smooth is from New York. Of course, the tri-state, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut is going to get it, but it's not going to go anywhere else unless you were into college radio. That's why college radio at one point was the most important radio for up and coming artists. CMJ was a big convention, because that was the only way that was the only way you would go regional, was via college. College radio was very, very important. Artists never, if you got into a mix show, fine. It wasn't really that many mix shows, but college radio was so important. I remember Wild Man Steve. I remember, I could go off the names, because when I was younger, I used to play OJ Wedlaw close. And OJ OJ worked for
Columbia.
Coach. Yeah, he worked for Coach Chillin
Coach
at the
Chillin
time.
first, yeah.
He
Yeah,
worked for
oh
Coach Chillin
wow.
at the time,
Back.
and he was the head of promotions of college radio. So he taught me, listen, if you get in with the colleges, you will be straight for life. So I would sit there at like 14 years old doing drops all day for college radio. So a lot of artists don't even know what drops is no more.
Wow, it's crazy.
They have no clue. So what we're trying to do right now with this conversation is take you to a point where it was different elements in this culture that shaped you as an artist. And then we had an invasion of things that kind of shifted and took the culture where we're at today.
Well, you know how you say we're nice and smooth?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You take it down south, right? In the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s even, like when there's no BET, there's no internet, of course, there's no way to get culture from outside of your bubble, right? If you're in Atlanta, your heroes are in Atlanta. Like not just but the way they dress, the way they sound, the slang they use, the way they everything is different. So if you're from New York, you represent a whole nother cultural framework, the way you dress, your sneakers, your laces, fat laces. Like you doing mad shit that's different. People from outside of New York never seen it before because this is something that's going on really just in New York. Yeah, there's other people who know what's up. They come to New York, find out they got cousins, family. They happen to catch hot tracks. When they see it, cool, I get that. But primarily speaking, if you're not in this thing called New York, hip-hop culture is kind of foreign to you. People are rapping already. We already established that. People are having park jams. We already established that. People already hustling, slinging, selling drugs, selling ass, stripping. We doing all of that already. The shit that's new is dancing specifically to the breakbeat, right? And then the culture that grows out from that.
Okay.
And that's how we understand hip hop. Does all this other shit exist? Yeah. But we didn't call that hip hop. That's not what we called that. That was just the shit that was going on because we grew up what we grew up.
But now all of that became hip hop.
Right.
A part of the culture.
Because of the infiltration, as you say. And you start seeing dollar signs. All right, so the hustlers, when we came up, didn't want to be involved with the boyoing, like jokers.
Yeah.
Graffiti, like that. Didn't make no money. I ain't make no money.
He was a clown. Yeah, he was a clown almost.
He was a clown.
And their style of dress, because they're getting money, is way elevated. See, you might have got, you was putting together outfits to be fly. They was able to go and buy, and remember at one point, sneakers wasn't a big deal in the hoods. If you had like a pair of sneakers, you was like the dude. Dudes would be outside playing ball in penny loafers and stuff like that. Like for real.
Yeah, Clarks.
Yeah, facts. Travel foxes and you know, and Clarks. Like
you coming home from school, you ain't get a chance to change into your play clothes.
Yeah, because you could not wear them school clothes.
Yeah. You out there British walkers, like it was a whole nother, like, because you're looking at your older brothers, right? It's like there's no such thing as hip hop.
Yes.
But you're looking at your older brothers, your older cousins, your uncles. You won't be like them. They wearing shark skins with pleats in them. They wearing mock necks, and you know what I mean. Like, the dress was totally in there, but it's not that you're wearing these old hand-me-down items from the '60s. It's how you rock them.
Yes.
It's how you wore. It's the color coordination. It's the all gray and burgundy. You know what I'm saying? With the Swedish knits with the pleats on the side. You get the gray with the burgundy in the pleat, and then you get some burgundy British walkers. You get a fucking burgundy mock neck, my nigga, and some gazelles. Motherfucker. Like, that was hip hop. Not just cause you listen to some shit. Yeah, or just cause you was
or my pussy is this, or yo, I whipped the pot. That wasn't hip hop. And this is what I'm saying. It was just styling, profiling, and being fly. So what I felt like what I felt like was when the black mogul got introduced, and that's why I say Master P. When the
Okay.
black mogul got introduced to hip hop, that's when people said, "Hold on, so I could take this drug money and go into this game and get me an artist and get a deal." Hence, introduces the Jay-Z's, because with Jay-Z, me being from Brooklyn, I know about Jay-Z since the early 90s. I'm talking about 90.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? 90. What happened to me was, what I feel was when Master P came and said, "Yo," see, because we love stories. When he said, "I got $10,000 inheritance, I bought me a record store so I could have my own distribution, and then I did bow 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 in the streets."
Mm-hmm.
Dudes is like, Now you always have people who hustle that was behind certain things in hip hop. We're not gonna get it twisted, but they never wanted to be on camera. They never wanted to say, "Hey, look."
If you want to rock with somebody who won't be all up in your
Yeah, yeah. They never wanted
videos,
to say, "Look,
be all up in your
I sold
songs.
crack. I sold crack. I am a street crack dealer, and I'm also a music exec." Nobody said that at one point until I believe Master P came and was like, "Yo, look, I'm the ice cream man. Bout it, bout it." And remember, he made the movie. And I remember when that Bout It movie came out, everybody was like, "Yo, this is ill." Then became the mogul of, "I'm not a drug dealer rapper. I'm the man who finances all of this. All of this is me. And I don't rap. I'm just the nigga who behind all of this." Right? Because Suge Knight, as we later found out, was funded by Harry O, which was the guy who didn't want to be on the camera. So we looked at Suge Knight as the mogul, but Suge Knight never said I sold drugs. Suge Knight never said, "Hey, I'm a drug dealer." He was just a big muscle guy. And then we start finding out that he's not even really uh uh was really a gang member like that. He was a gang affiliated, right? But that's a regional thing that they do anyway. So it don't matter who's coming from LA, they all gonna be gang affiliated based off of how their neighborhoods are. So I felt like when Master P came with this Bout It down south, buying out the source, buying out, he was just buying everything. Like we couldn't get away with this dude. We couldn't get away from him. Then we started to get introduced to it, and then he kind of like blew up and took over. So then I started feeling like a lot of people came with, "I'm gonna take this street element, this street money, and I'm not going to wash it through hip hop. I'm not going to put it into somebody. I'm gonna be the man. I'm the dude who's such and such." And I start feeling like we getting all these cliques and all these crews now, where the head of the crew is also the dude on the block. So now the streets, they come in with this mentality of, this hip hop is a drug flip. This hip hop is a drug flip, introducing now street culture. Then extortionists start coming in, and a whole bunch of street stuff
Yeah,
start
see,
coming in. Go ahead.
yeah, see. I see where you at, right? I still maintain that it's earlier. It's way earlier than that, right? It's that what you're saying in terms of having these individuals who look at the music industry as the quick flip. It's just that the imagery around the artistry is that now. Like it's like you used to want to be an artist or get into the music industry, the entertainment industry, to get out of the hood. Now people are bringing the hood with them, the hood mentality with them. Their whole image is the thing that they tried to leave. Like
Yes.
the thing that you said that you want to do
Get
this
away
to
from.
get you and your family out of, you're getting trapped by it. You're actually getting murdered by it in real time. I saw a video. Thurston Howell the third posted this video. 200 rappers that got murdered, or not everybody get murdered, but 200 rappers that died in 2020.
Yes.
in 2020, just 2020. So when I first saw the clip, I'm thinking, okay, it's just 200 random people who could not have been rappers. Like, okay, he was rapping, but not serious. Like every video that I saw, every clip I saw was real MCs, real artists, real people who had dreams, aspirations. That's why they were doing their art. That's why they wanted to get out. But the imagery that I saw represented the thing that ended up murdering them. The thing that they're talking about in their rhymes comes and takes them away.
Yeah, the art is
So,
not imitating life. Now the life is so-called imitating the art. And
these so-called bosses, these so-called moguls, these so-called generals, these so-called leaders, because that's what they are. They are leaders. Yes, they are leaders. Not always positive leadership, not always strong leadership, not always correct leadership, but leadership nonetheless, because people follow. So you can't discount their leadership ability.
Now when we look at an organization like a BMF comes in, they got the rapper starter kit. They would drive 50 Lambos in a row. They could go to the strip club and throw out 400,000. But they never had, BMF was so-called an entertainment company. But when you look at the artists, they didn't have no talent. The talent was supposed to be Blue Da Vinci, but Blue Da Vinci was okay. But he wasn't a star, but he was able to be a star based off of what was going on in the streets and how the streets was able, how they dressed him based off of what was happening in the streets.
Yeah.
So he got more jewelry than the rappers. He popped more champagne than the rappers. He drive better cars. He lives in better houses. All of this. So he's able to have the imagery that every rapper wants, but he don't have the talent that most rappers have. So now they come in and everybody gravitates to them. Well, when the feds hit them, everybody was like, I ain't never really rock with them like that. I was with them sometimes, but so what I felt started happening now in this culture is that you have a lot of guys who get street money. What did Kevin Lyle said when they was trying to get Ain't No N-Word played, he said Jay-Z and him came and dumped a bunch of money on his desk. Yo, get this record played. And what happened was, I feel like when the hustlers came into hip hop, they looked at it like a drug flip. They look at it like, so I could put it's only gonna take 10,000.
Yeah, but that's I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that because that's America. That's just capitalism. That's the way the business works. I'm not mad at that. It's just a part of it. Once you understand that, you'll be happier about life because you can't do shit about it. So it is what it is. All right. But the lack of ethic, morals, and values is the problem.
Let me tell you, so let me qualify what I'm saying really quick.
Okay. All right.
When they came in, it wasn't about hip hop no more. It was about record sales, fronting, and we don't need no dancers. We just got to pay certain DJs. We just got to bribe certain people and make this individual a star. We don't care. We're going in the club. We're not going in the club to dance. We're going in the club to buy out the bar and front on these dudes over there, show them how we really ballers. So a lot of things was taken away from it. The talent, because they had the money to put it into anybody. So if they say he's a star, they can pay for it.
Right. Go
ahead.
Add a perspective. So, all right, so the target market for entertainment industry is 13 to 17-year-olds, right? Record labels and this has been the case for a long time. This didn't happen, right? It's always been the case that they're targeting teenagers, young people, right? Now, when we come up, whoever the hot boy is, that's who's gonna get all the love, right? Because the kids are following him or her, right? They make a name for themselves. They could be bullies, they could be drug dealers, they could be athletes, they could be whatever, right? But whoever the hot boy is or the hot girl is, especially because of technology and where information moves, and they young people kind of move that whole shit. You don't have to be talented; you just got to be popular.
Now though,
right? So it used to be you became popular by being talented. Now
exactly.
you just need to be popular, right? So it's like the game is shifting above our heads, right? And we're just like to say it's because of that one or because of that one. To your point though, the lack of morals, values, and ethics that we
Principles,
have,
MVP,
principles,
MVP, moral values
MVP,
and principles. Yeah,
thank you, MVP. We're willing to sell our children to hell for $1. And that's just the way that's the reality of life, right? Because if that wasn't the case, these jokers, that's not the business model they follow, because that's not it's man, it's a reality check in a lot of ways. But we're asking people that we know come from the street and been selling dope and selling all types of poison. We know these people are devoid of ethics, more MVPs.
yeah, they're pieces of shit. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I got this thing. Know how you keep a people down? And I don't know where I got this from, but I borrowed this from somebody. So whoever is the origin, excuse me. How you keep a people down is you identify the weak link, and then you elevate it to power.
Yes. Yes, I
So
talk about that all the time. Like, yo, a lot of dudes who y'all be calling bosses was not really a boss. It's almost like a cop that used to get noogies and wedgies, but now he has a gun and he has authority. He's going to abuse that because he's psychologically not strong enough, and he's always thinking about the trauma. So now he's in a position of power. So that's why a lot of these moguls who are got thrusted in certain positions that wasn't street dudes, and this goes back to my point, that wasn't street dudes, they want to be street so bad because they never got to be street. But via their money now they're claiming street. So what I didn't understand, and what I don't understand, is that how are you an individual who's 40 plus, right? You got gray all in your beard, gray in your mustache. Fine. We all going to get that. We all have that. I have it also. But this is because you shave. But your claim to fame in 2021 is that I'm out here. I'm out here. I could go, look, I could pop out in the streets of Brooklyn when I want to. I could go and I could walk around Harlem and I don't got no security and all that. You proud of that as an old grown ass man with children? Didn't you get into hip hop to make some money, to leave that life? Why are you in hip hop making money off of this culture to promote that life? See, that mentality makes absolutely no damn sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That makes absolutely no damn sense to me at all. First of all, don't tell me how to talk, because this is my show. I want you to shut the fuck up. All right? Let's do that. So it's not making any sense to me. So I'm feeling like a lot of these guys are coming from the streets, looking at this as a flip. I got a couple of dollars. This is all it's going to take, because what they do is they scour the room. World Star cost this cost this. Okay, I already know what I got to do. I already know how much money I got to come up with, and I'm going to pay who I need to pay to blow up whatever I need to blow up, and then I'm going to flip it. But then what happens is now the non-talented dude starts creeping into the culture, and they don't have to care about hip hop culture because they don't care about hip hop culture. They care about money.
Yeah.
Hip hop culture was not born out of money. It was born out of poverty.
Well, see, it's like, all right, so we be talking about, yeah, you're right. And to that point, there's two things. There's the music industry, and then there's what we call hip hop culture, right? A lot of times we talk about hip hop, and we really talk about the music industry.
Facts.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the music industry paradigm is a thing that if you study it and you understand the origins, the roots of it, especially when it comes to black music, who, you know, the seeds of our degradation, the stereotypes, the, you know, just the constant themes that is existent in underground black culture is largely due because the mafia runs it. There's another group of people. You can't talk bad about them.
Small.
You know what I mean?
I call them the small hats.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they got things on lock. You know, they got things on lock. And when you see these images of black folks and black people doing these things, it's because we've either bought in or don't know any other way. And like I said, you find the weak link and then you elevate it. You give it the power because you know, if I give this fool $1 million, he gonna give it right back to me.
Yeah, I mean, see, but I feel like that point is spoken about a lot, especially on this show with me and Karim Blizz Johnson. That's spoken about a lot, but nobody cares about that, bro. Shout out to the person who just copped the shirt. Nobody cares about that part because some people say I'd rather have had than never had. So even if I give it back, look at the nigga shit that I was able to do. I was able to go out here. I was able to go to the block. I was able to front on the people who said I was nothing. So for yourself, a hip hop artist, for myself, a lover of hip hop culture, an artist, the love of the culture, also being able to, you know, it ain't like we didn't make no money off this. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't like we don't make money off, but we never exploited it for the money. Like we care about the culture more than we cared about the money.
Can I tell you a story?
Go ahead.
So, big shout out to the teacher KRS-One. I got a new single with him called The Cypher. I'm shooting a video for it this weekend. Big shout out to Ron Lawrence, producer.
Oh, Amarad did that?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I got to get him on here.
Yeah, I love to hook that up. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. So, you know, everybody, not everybody, but people know my affiliation with KRS-One and know that I met him. I was a school teacher when I met him. I met him via education, right? So when we got signed to Capitol and we started doing our project, this is KRS coming right out of his struggles with jive music and him trying to compete with Too Short, E40, and the more gangster edge music that was kind of taking over the airwaves, right? So when we were doing our project, me and Tuffy, I'm a school teacher, both college graduates, and you know, we got these big words and similes and metaphors, and we extra lyrical. We trying to be extra hip hop. We rolling with KRS-One, knowledge reigns supreme. This is the lyrical god. He's like, man, y'all niggas better dumb that shit down. That niggas gonna go everybody's head. Y'all niggas be talking about busting your gun, fucking hoes, and smoking and drinking. Y'all need to make rhymes about that.
KRS-One said this to you.
Yeah, KRS-One said that to me.
Wow.
I looked at him like, nah, dude. I'm a school teacher, bro. Like, there's no way in the world. The things that I've stood for the last 4 or 5 years, am I gonna go against that and put out music that I know my students are gonna hear? That got me looking
like
crazy.
Mr. Green said he fucked a girl in the ass. Like, what are we doing?
As I sparked this weed.
Yeah.
So, you know, we fought with him, right? And he was saying, yo, you gotta dumb it down. Talk like baby talk. Like, you gotta walk with these niggas. Like, even Madism was us dumbing some shit down. Wake up in the morning, got the yearning for herb was me writing like some, like, on some dumb shit. That was me trying to be stupid, saying, you know, Chris would be like, "Ah, get the fuck out the booth, you fucking around." He goes, "Yo, nigga, you need to start your rhyme like that. That's the hottest shit. Wake up in the morning, got the yearning for herb." That was me trying to just, anyway, dumbing it down, right? Now that was him going through the lessons of one, criminal minded. Chris was on some knowledge shit. Scholar Rock was like, you need to dumb it down. You need to bust your gun. 9mm, all that shit, super hoe. That was Chris stepping outside of himself, trying to reach the people so people would listen. And then you get their ear, and then you lift up. You bend down, and you stand up. That was the jewel, right? What happens with most of these niggas, they bend down
and stay down.
They never stand back up. Or if they do stand back up, they leave them niggas right where they were standing.
Well, I do want to say to you this, Hakim. Wake up in the morning, got the yearning for herb, changed your life. That is one of the most famous lines in hip hop history, which is crazy that you're trying to be funny and it ends up being your calling card that got you into hip hop history. Look how crazy that is.
All we do is spark madism.
Yeah.
I got like 3-4 other songs where I say wake up in the morning, got the yearning for herb. I'm gonna milk that motherfucker.
You better do. You better do.
No doubt.
Yeah, because somebody else will say it. So all right. But now we go past the Master P era, in my opinion. You say it started with Biggie. I'm not gonna deny that.
No, not that it started with Biggie. It's before that.
Yeah, definitely. Because we had Too Shorts over here, we had Jay Prince's over here, but again, it wasn't
the explosion of the whole chronic West Coast. It was a shift in hip hop, and I think Puffy said, "You know what? I need an artist that can compete in that lane, sound wise and image wise," and that's why the crafting of Big as the Frank White, big notorious, the drug dealer, that was the marketing scheme behind all that. You know what I mean? So
it's funny because I want to tell the story. My conversation with Biggie about Frank White had nothing to do with him thinking he was the king of New York. That's a big fallacy. He wanted to have because of the Chronic, because of De La Soul, because of albums, we would call skits snippets. We would call them snippets in skits. So skits were very, very big on an album. It was almost as important as the songs. The Chronic was full of these skits.
Legendary.
Yeah, so when he said, I want to do a skit that I'm coming out of jail and I'm coming home to get with my crew, the Junior Mafia, like King of New York, Frank White. So that's why Ready to Die starts with open up cell C-74, which is so crazy to me because there is no cell called C-74. C-74 is a house. So that goes to show how much they knew about jail and prison. They didn't know nothing. So when he said open up cell C-74, that's what it was supposed to be. It had nothing to do with I'm the king of New York as the rapper, and it had nothing to do with that. And anybody who say it, they're lying, because I'm talking about per my conversation with him. It was a skit. That's why Ready to Die album starts like that. He was coming out of jail, coming home to get with the crew. But Biggie never been in jail, though. And people don't know that, too. He's never done jail time. Even when they say, oh, him went to Westinghouse together. When the hell did Big go to school? I don't remember him going to no Westinghouse. So it's a lot of things that are made up because it sound good for the stories.
Right, but it's still like the image of.
Yes, the image.
Not just the intent. We're intentionally gonna be. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the focus on drug culture.
Yes.
The focus on gang culture. The focus on the glorification of violence. But see, now here's the thing about Ready to Die for me. It's also a conscious album.
Yes.
Because
everyday struggle. Yep.
He's talking about killing himself, like the real pressures of living this life, the reality of it, what it does to us as a people is on that album. It's not an over glorification. There's no happy ending at the end. You know what I mean? Like it's really sad and morbid, and just an example of what we were going through or coming out of at that time. And then everything after that is like a goddamn celebration of this shit. Even Big, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, Life After Death was him going, I can't be that same person.
Yes, because I ain't broke.
I ain't broke.
I'm not broke.
I can't do that no more. I gotta kind of elevate the conversation. I would have loved to see where he transformed to, and especially after going through recent history, just everything. His
even with
I missed the brother tremendously.
Yeah, even with Wu-Tang, the Italian influence had nothing to do with what y'all think. It had something to do with they live in Staten Island.
well, they live in Staten Island, but what is Staten Island?
Mob.
Well, there you go.
So the Gambinos really lived there, and they went to school with a lot of these dudes' children. Italians run Staten Island. It's always been like that.
Oh, so I went to school on Staten Island. I went to Wagner College for 2 years.
So
87 to 89. So I had a professor, Sifo, 70-year-old white man, Italian, right, self-made millionaire, got children, NASA, all types. He was brilliant. And he'd come to, this is 1988. This is 1988. He would come into the class.
You was in high school in 88?
No, this is college.
You was in college in 88?
In 88, yeah.
Damn.
I'm 52, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, triple OG.
Yeah.
Good. So, he would walk into class and he'd go, listen, anything I say upsets you, don't get mad. Prove me wrong. You ever prove me wrong, you get an A. Don't come back to my class. Don't worry about the rest of the year. If I say anything that you disagree with, old white man, if I say anything you disagree with, and you can prove me wrong, don't even come back to my class. Staten Island is the most segregated place in America.
Facts.
Prove me wrong. And he talks about how it was built, the suburbs, how people, the communities were purposely separated, went to all that, broke it all. Now, mind you, I'm in the middle of a bunch of Italians and Irish motherfuckers who's listening to this white man tell them how they stole everything. Shit was dope. He goes, listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing new under the sun. Trust me when I tell you. Prove me wrong, don't come back to my class. You got an A. Nothing new under the sun. Black people have done everything that you see here. Black and brown people did that 3-4 times over before there were white people. This is a 70-year-old white man saying this, dude. Shit was incredible to me. But Staten Island, as a place being so segregated and mob control, when you watch The Godfather again, you'll see it shown in The Godfather, how Staten Island.
Yes.
It's just,
John Gotti lived there, Paul Castellano. They lived on Staten Island. They had they had homes where it was the only house on the block. Like acres. It was the only home.
You're in New York City, but you feel like you in like
Little Italy somewhere. Yeah. Definitely.
And you got the, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's like but the relationship between this community and the African American community. For instance, Yusef Hawkins. I always wanted to have this conversation with you. I don't know if you saw the documentary.
I sure did. That's Brooklyn, so I saw it.
Oh man!
As a kid, I actually even marched in one of the marches.
Me too. Yep.
We were standing on Waverly and Fulton drinking 40s, and they came past.
I marched to the one Sharpton got stabbed.
Oh, we would have wilded out if done that one.
Yeah, I wish I was. We found out later, but he got popped in the chest at the end of the procession.
Oh man, I wish I was there for that. We'd have got to whip some of them out.
That's why when people talk bad about Al Sharpton, and everybody has their criticisms, and I do too. However, I've seen him do a lot of things that he really didn't have to do, and I don't know how many of y'all been stabbed in the chest.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't really, I don't rock with the crypt keeper like that. I'm
I
good.
got, I'm not
I'm
saying
good.
all. I'm just, I ain't never been
I
stabbed in
know
the
what you're
chest. Thank
saying.
God.
Early on, let's say
Right.
early on,
For the
the early on
okay,
guy,
okay.
because we have to,
Mm,
because we have to give him credit for what. Sometimes you
right.
can respect people for what they did, but you don't respect them for
Uh-huh.
what they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So you can respect people
So
for what they
you,
do, but go ahead.
but Yusef Hawkins, right? So we're talking about this is 1988, right? Um, Do the Right Thing had just dropped. So you had a bunch of other incidents, Michael Stewart, Howard Beach, um, a bunch of big racial incidents, Eleanor Bumpers, Larry Davis, all these shit was bubbling in the late 80s. Crazy. Black people, police, she was crazy. Do the Right Thing drops. It's about the incident at the pizzeria between the Italian community and the black community,
How come ain't no
right? So
brothers on the wall, Sal?
how come ain't no brothers on the wall, Sal? So it's very big shout out to Spike Lee. It's very detailed in the friction
I
between
don't
the
like
black
Spike Lee either,
community.
but that's another story.
That's another story, but this
Yeah,
movie, come on, you know what I'm saying?
great movie.
Great movie, great movie. So it's like then Yusuf Hawkins happens in Bensonhurst, and it's like just what happened in this movie 2 months prior. So the energy was just like we was irate as a people. We was kind of unified in a way that we didn't even realize we was unified. You had the music, Public Enemy,
Fight the
X
power.
Clan,
Fight the
Fight the
powerism.
Power. You had X Clan, Lumumba Carson. You
Boogie
had
Down Productions. Stop
Boogie
the
Down
Violence Movement.
Production, Stop the Violence, Tribe Called Quest, Native Tongue. You had this Red, Black, and Green. You had this Kente Cloth. You
Jungle
had man,
Brothers.
nigga,
Yeah.
oh, this is 1980s again,
Jungle
87,
Brothers.
88.
Jungle
I
Brothers. We
read the
can't.
I read the autobiography of Malcolm X in 1988. Now, I came up in the nation early when I was like 3, 4, 5, right? And then got pulled out, and 80s was crazy, whatever. So you kind of lose that connection. Of course, the nation and Malcolm is another story, but the energy and understanding what Malcolm was when I read the book pulled me back into where I needed to be at the time. And
Mm-hmm.
then the culture and the music reflected what was happening in my head, how I saw myself, how I saw America, how I saw police, how I saw City Hall. Like, I just got turned on. So then it was like Leonard Jeffries. It was Ivan Van Sertima. It was Sheikh Anta Diop, Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark. The reading, just the thirst, and then on every corner in New York City was like a library. Niggas is selling books. Motherfuckers is making crazy money off selling
Yeah, because it was
literature.
New York City, especially Harlem, and shout out to Harlem for this, was like the mecca of consciousness.
Mecca. You know what I'm saying? Like the debate, like the challenging ideas,
But I remember talking to
discussion.
Loaded Lux one day, and I said, "Yo, do you realize Malcolm walked right where we're standing right here? Like, do we really realize what was going on?" So Hakim, also I want to work on that project. I spoke to you about this project. I'm not gonna say the title publicly, but it's relevant to this conversation. And this is like a prelude of where I want to go with this project. I do have some excerpts from Lord Jamar that I can use and Talib Kweli I can use for this project. Why are we where we at today, where it's no longer about hip hop, it's just all street?
Because the street is the plantation.
Damn. Say that again, man.
The street is the plantation. Like, human resource is the greatest resource. Our creativity is the resource. And these niggas is just digging in, mining what they want, taking what they want, and we have no way to protect us. And the people who are built to protect us sell it what they ask along with it. So at the end of the day, the street is nothing but a cotton field, and niggas is the cotton.
Whoa. And nigga pain is for sale always.
Oh yeah, nigga.
And you know what I like to say, right? Niggas going nigga.
Niggas gonna nigga. Oh, all day, every day.
So we're at a point now where
Hold on. I got a song on a new album called Niggonometry. Big shout out to Cannabis.
okay,
But niggonometry is about niggerdom. Niggonometry is about how we as gods live in this world upside down. So,
I know you want to bust a rap. Go ahead. I already know. I already know what you. Oh, okay, okay. I know you.
so he said, I can't even think of the motherfucker
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
right
Go
now.
ahead.
I can't even hear it. It's shitty cut. I can't even think of the goddamn rhyme. I got so many rhymes I can't think of it. But anyway, the song itself is really just how we create this upside down world where my chick is a stallion, but my nigga is a stud.
Bizarro world.
Niggonometry, next level math, trigonometry, vexed with the metal, I'm a rebel, don't bother me. Something like geometry, as above, so below, like the stars of astrology. Shitty cuz shitty is and shitty does. Arose out the concrete, nipped in the bud. But my chick is a stallion, but my nigga's a stud. My click rock medallions be from the sticks and mud. Weaponize my thugs, recognize the love. A novice at the game of life, but I specialize in drugs. I made a promise that I changed my life, but I'm next to the plug. Niggas be honest to they face in life, arrested by the fuzz. Truth or fiction. Niggas get crossed like crucifixion. Everybody a boss with no jurisdiction. Go around in circles, lost in addiction. Niggas keep it real, but just really contradictions. When my nigga, anyway, yeah, it's
Yeah.
called
Oh,
niggonomics. It's called niggonometry.
and that's out now.
Well, you can get it on SoundCloud, but it's gonna be on the upcoming album called Aubrey, which is a tribute to '80s hip hop. So it's a lot of scratching, a lot of break beats, a lot of themes and concepts relative to '80s. I got this joint called Stolen Art about how we basically got the art taken from us in exchange for drugs.
Hence the conversation.
Exactly. Oh no, the whole album is really this conversation.
That's
You know it.
crazy. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. It's all about the culture. All about the culture and the trials and tribulations of the culture.
So what I don't like when we have these talks, very important for the culture culturally, because these talks that we're having are not happening. Nobody's talking about, okay, but I feel like if we was on Revolt or we was on certain platforms, people might peek in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm what I'm tired of as a platform and as a content creator is how I feel like sometimes I have to be dumbed down for views. I can't have these intellectual talks based on the culture and hip hop because nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that. If this title doesn't say Hakim Green says
Mm-hmm.
KRS-One stole money from me at one point, nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
How do we reverse that? And is it possible?
I don't think we can reverse it. I think that um, again, when we say hip hop, what is that? Because a lot of things that we call hip hop aren't really essentially hip hop. It's just a product that we call hip hop. That's right. But the person, the consumer itself, is just a consumer, right? And that consumer, they got to go through their everyday life just like everybody else, and
Can
they're
I
not
give you the jewel
consumed.
on consumer really quick?
Go ahead, please.
At one point, people with the grown people with the mental capacity of children were called consumers. Did you know that?
Well, nothing's changed.
Go ahead.
But to that point, and that's no disrespect to them because I am a
Yes.
consumer
Mm-hmm.
to some degree. So it's no disrespect to anybody out there. It's just to say that they depend on us to be dumbed down, right? On top of the trauma that our people go through, on top of the poor diet, on top of all the other things that people have to go through in their life, that they're still a consumer consuming what we call hip hop, but they're not really hip hop. They're looking for things to fulfill what's in their life. But when you look at what their life consists of, you understand why their diet is what it is. Like when you understand what And you know, you know, like
Yes,
just the
yes.
every I'm talking about, because the real consumer are women, right? So unfortunately, the black queen, not all black women, but the black queen in terms of collectively aren't.
What we knew is the Black Queen.
We're not investing life into the black queen. We're not investing, you know what I'm saying, things of real substance. We're keeping them in a on a consumer level. Just buy my shit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
just buy my shit.
And send me a
Long as
titty
you,
picture too.
oh man, if you can do that, it's even better. It's cream, it's cherry on top. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. But that's what the wave is right now, and that's what they're selling, motherfuckers. Sex. They got this chick, Meg Thee Stallion. I saw the clip with the dude was shooting the joint. Right? I don't know if you saw that. The white boy got the camera behind the girl's like a harness on her ass while she's bent over for the Meg Thee Stallion video.
Wow.
So it's showing the work he got to put in. Mind you, he got his face up her ass like that, and it's like, yeah, man, that's where we at right now with what we're, and that's women empowerment, by the way.
That became women empowerment.
That's what they're pitching it
They're
as.
sexual they're being overly sexual in the
Yeah,
fact that
yeah,
if she
yeah,
wants to just show you her box and we could look at her vulva or whatever, it's that's empowering.
yeah. Now
But that's
it's
white feminism, truthfully. Black women
man,
just don't know that.
it's no, it's just a deep conversation in terms of who we really are as a people and what we've been turned into. You know, it's a to have these conversations with the average person that they don't even know what's outside their bubble to have the conversation really. You know what I'm saying? There's like it's very small groups of people, like you said, who can have these types of conversation and understand it, not get offended by it. Because a lot of what we're saying involves us too, me and you as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm guilty of a lot of the criticisms that I might be landing on society in general. You know, I play a part in it too, and I don't want to be like holier than
Hypocritical.
thou.
Could I ask you a
Hypocrite.
question?
Hmm.
The quote, 95% of people's reality is based off of perception, was that you were Tuffy?
That was toughy.
I and I think what he said that in like what 95 or
That
something
was
like that.
90. That was 95 for the
I never
Million Man
forgot that.
March. That's the Million Man
Do
March
you know I
compilation
never
album.
ever forgot that 95% of people's perception,
Perception.
people reality is based
It's
off of
just,
perception.
yeah.
So what that means is how we break that down is that what you think and what you see becomes real to you, even if it's not real. It's just what you think. It's how you perceived it.
Yeah.
So if you believe that this is not a bottle, if this right here is an airplane to you, you are going out there fighting and saying, this is an airplane, and you got picket signs and you willing to shoot me, stab me, kill me, and punch me in the face. So when we speak different things and we say, this is what's going on, and this is what's going on, and this is what's happening, if that's not how you perceive it, it's not real.
Hmm.
And that's what happened, I believe. And he said that, would you say 90 what?
95%.
What year did he say that?
95% of reality is perception. 1995.
This is what I'm saying.
1995.
So we
Because nothing really changes and it's all relative. That's why it's
facts.
still relevant right now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I want to know, do your raps, do your being, do your 24 hours of peace, do some of the things that you do in the community that you've been doing in the community. Like this is not through the marches you did, through the lectures that you did, through the songs that you did, through all the things that you took place, and then behind the scenes stuff that you're a part of that people have no clue that Hakim Green facilitated this, that, and the third. Why do you still do this shit?
Because this is what I do. This is what it is. Like it's just like, first of all, when you see people say the struggle, why is it the struggle? We should be enjoying this work.
Mm.
It should be a pleasure and an honor and a gratitude attached to working with your people, working with people that look like you, being able to execute a project, being able to take an idea and bring it to manifestation, create something great. One, two, I mean, hip hop is just who I am. Like I am hip hop. to the T. That's how I move. So my energy, I get attracted to certain things, and certain, that's just, is hip hop. It's just what it is. So that's why I do. I don't even question. I'm not looking for, the reward of the like. I've done everything I really set out to do, in terms of, in my mind, having a vision. Okay, what do I want to be? How do I want to see myself? What types of things do I want? How, the money, the whatever. I've seen it, been there, been in close proximity. I'm not, I'm not a millionaire like that. I'm not like balling. I'm not doing that. But then again, that's not the person that I am. You know what I mean? I have a side to me that's, I like to take it down and just be by myself and be with my loved ones, quiet. I'm more about the experience than I am the thing. I'm not big on things. Never been big on things. I never like
Nigga
watches.
shit. Yeah, nigga.
I just never. It felt like, first of all, women would wear jewelry. Women like adornment. So for me, it's, not to say that if you do, I'm not saying that. I've had an earring in my ear. It was a style for a second. I get it. But when you step outside the bubble and you look, you go, okay, people who are kind of more into adornment, kind of just, I ain't flashy like that. Y'all can have that shit.
What do you feel about what do you
I'm
feel
good.
what do you feel about, due to street culture coming in? Uh it's two things that I think is happening. I think it's the fight that if you're not this, you're unsuccessful, right? And then you also, they're trying to aid you out of this. Could we attack?
No, they're not trying.
Well, because I
They
want to
got they,
speak to that.
they got AIDS, they got barriers. They
So,
got,
but
you
how
get
could you
to a
get
certain,
aged out of a culture though?
because this is how we gonna reverse this, right? Is I got this album coming out called Aubrey. That's a tribute to 80s hip hop culture, right? And it's stuff that me and Ron Lawrence are working on. Ron Lawrence is producing the whole album, right? I got this joint with CeeLo, Fire. I got the joint with KRS. I got Niggonometry with Malik Youssef. I got some other joints that are bangers. That's like, I got this joint called Old School Head, right? That's I ain't gonna tell you the beat. It's over. When you hear it, you're gonna be like, ooh, he went there with it, right? Definitely hip hop, boom bap, 80s sounding, scratching, but dope. You heard the cipher? Check out the ciphers on YouTube featuring KRS-One. Bars, you know what I mean? It's an energy that's hip hop, and it's just gotta be dope. And I got bars for days. And
Are
when I
you on a
touch the
laptop?
stage,
Are you on a laptop?
nah, I'm on the phone.
Okay. Turn it a little bit to your right shoulder if you could. Yeah, because you're not centered. Yeah, that's way better. I should have told you that a long time ago. That's way better. Yeah, just make sure it goes up.
Let me do it like this.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's perfect. Like right with that's perfect. Yeah, because it's like you're like
Yeah. So yeah, but the thing I wanted to say is just be dope, right? Be dope about it. You gotta be. I gotta be dope. I hope I am. I think I am. How's that? Nah, same shit.
that's better. So okay, even in being dope, who's your audience?
Us,
Okay.
us, man. I'm making music for us. Like I'm not thinking about what other niggas is doing. I'm not thinking about whether kids like it. I'm 52 years old. What the fuck do I look like making music for a 13, 14-year-old? If they happen to like it and they fuck with it, great. But my messaging, the themes, what I represent, what I got to talk about, is for like jokers like you and older than you. You know what I mean? I'm an old school head with old school ways. On the straight and narrow, I don't go two ways. I don't know how y'all do it, but I stay right and exact like a square with a compass, spit it right with the facts. I'm the glare when the sun passes, light my raps. Don't even stare, be a dumbass, that's light when I clap. We don't want the applause, we don't need the feedback. What goes around comes around, they not passing weed back. Ask Pooh Bah who the master of the ceremony. Stay getting checks off the ism like alimony. Name always stay on the wire like a pair of ponies. Flame always stay on the fire with a tenderoni. It's Hakim Green, you can call me Hot Money. Always got green, life always sunny. Save the drama for a thespian. I stay sleeping on my gun like the Mexican. And it goes on. It's a tribute to old schools. I'm shouting out, man.
So reason why I'm saying all of this is because, again, due to street culture and the need to be street, like I said earlier, we have guys my age, even all the way up to your age, wanting to be street to where what you're saying is played out to them, but they're not doing age appropriate shit. What?
It's the niggonometry of it. Like, the culture is dumbed down. I understand it totally. Like, I know the history from, coon music and the minstrel show, all the way up, Clive Davis and the, that whole.
That's on here. That's on here. If y'all could please go look at the conversation, with myself and you talking about Clive Davis. Very, 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 very important conversation. Because we don't just attack Puffy and Jay-Z. We go after the big boys, the financiers.
Right. There's all of that. Right. That's the reason why. There's the 1996 Telecommunications Act, which is part of the reason why. It's it's everything. It's just the dumbing down of the consumer market so they can sell us all types of bullshit products. Because advertising runs the whole show at radio.
Facts.
Advertising runs
television.
Everything. Television is advertising. So it's the products, soap products, car companies, clothing companies. And, because of the way America is set up, be it big conglomerate or small mom and pop, you still need advertising. You still need to spend money in advertising so people know where to go get your shit. You know what I mean? So, is it a good thing, bad thing? I can't. I don't know. Now when you lose the MVPs, morals, values, and principles, then you'll sell anything, and that's a problem.
But that's not street culture, though. That's not. I'm a hustler. I sell water to wet. I sell fire in hell. I think that I sell anything.
Okay, so if you'll sell anything, don't sell that, my nigga. All right, if you'll sell anything, sell me something else, my nigga. Because you'll sell anything. You'll sell water to a well, right? All right, nigga. That's not water, and I'm not a well, my nigga. So what you got for me, my nigga? Like,
but I feel like
just because I came up through the 70s, I know what heroin did, and I came up through the 80s, and I know what crack did, right? If that's what you represent to me, you're small to me. If that's what you represent, now I said represent. People got to do what they got to do. People got to eat. People got to survive. People got to pay their bills. Times is hard. Everybody's not accounted for. The underground economy exists so we can eat. I got you. But what do you represent, though? Okay, you had to hustle. But what do you represent, though? You represent that, or you just did that? All right, if you had to do that because you had to put food on the table, I can't judge. You got to do what you got to do. If that's what you represent, you're small to me.
Now, but again, because of the streets and the way streets has invaded the perception of what hip hop is now. Remember me and Blizz talked about the movie The Mac. You had the brother who was the activist that was really trying to fight the system, but then you had the brother, who is the Mac, who gets all the love from the streets because he has the jewelry, the girls, the cars, and everything. This has been a war with us for a while, but what they did was at one point they was letting the gangster rapper or whatever coexist with like NWA and Public Enemy was able to coexist. When people don't really pay attention, NWA was Public Enemy to a certain extent, just a different side of the spectrum. Even wearing the King's hat, the Raiders hats, the black Levi's. Even when Ice Cube left NWA, he came right to Public Enemy producers. He came right to them. So that's how the contrast was different, but then it became a point to where there is no more Public Enemy. It's only NWAs, and not even them, because they even made songs like Express Yourself and stuff like that. Now it's just straight up. I see dudes that I'm gonna be vulgar for 1 second. I see dudes that I know is pussy, never hustled a day in their life, and they're making songs like I whip that work, and I'm like, yo, no, you don't. Who told you that you have to say these things and you have to rap like that for people to love you? Why are y'all so brainwashed? You are a good kid. You don't whip the work. You don't, like, you don't whip the work. Even your terminology is off.
If you do whip the work, let's whip something else. Let's. But it's difficult. I'm trying to get the right angle. Tell me if I'm right.
Go to your left. Go to your right shoulder.
Let's go to my right shoulder.
Yes, there you go. Yep.
Boom. Okay, there
Perfect.
you go. All right, so whip the work could be something else. It could be a metaphor. So that's the thing about like street culture in the gutter, right? When you look at the gutter, like the gutter, Color Purple, when they was in the shack, when they was doing it, these niggas in the gutter, like coming up in the 70s. I remember the trips down south to Virginia and down south to South Carolina when there was like mad dirt roads. Like having a paved road was special in the 70s, right? People living in the backwoods, the juke joint, running moonshine. Like these are very, very simple people who look at the world in a very simple way. And they got the way they interact, whatever, and they get gang. They love you, but don't front because they'll kill you quick.
Stab you, got a shotty.
Right. And they got this shit with, with the strip shit and it's a certain element that's up north too, but it's because of that gutter, like the gutter. But the gutter is what produces all this culture that we call whatever, whether it's jazz, whether it's blues, whether it's wherever black culture emerges, the gutter right there. South Bronx, the gutter. Not just the South Bronx, but it's the gutter. You know what I mean? Like that's so now we used to want to do something to get out of the gutter. Now we want to bring the gutter with us.
Or just go back to the gutter to say I'm here.
Go back to the gutter that used to be.
Because let's be honest. A lot of dudes don't want to bring the gutter with them. They want to bring the imagery. But they don't want to bring the gutter with them because they go to the hood or they're on these platforms, they're on Instagram, they're on records popping a bunch of shit. Leaving the gutter to fight the war based off of what you said and their affiliation with you, but you never was out there busting no gun. You live in a gated community, and even some of the dudes that's shooting for you, fighting for you, killing for you, stabbing for you, going to prison for you, they don't even know where you live. You know how many stories it is of dudes defending dudes' honor and getting locked up and they ain't bail them out, or, oh, I can't rock with him no more, or whatever the case may be. They want the imagery, but they don't want the gutter.
Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about the movie Scarface?
I love the movie Scarface. I just don't like when he shoots Manny, and I don't like when he dies at the end, but I do love the movie. But with my knowledge and where I'm at consciously, I could look at it as a movie. I could look at it as a metaphor. But Tony never went back to the gutter though.
No, but it's the like Scarface, just an impactful movie on hip hop culture. A lot of artists follow, name themselves after, just
Sosa, Montana, yeah.
It's just that's just the coat. I'm the Kingpin coat dude. It's just that life is such a magnet because we come from that where the only way to get that, not the only way to get that, excuse me, let me rephrase that. The perception is that the only way you can get that is to go these different routes. Now, two things. One, the fact that you're attached to material things like that is a problem. Number one. Number two, that you're willing to do anything to get it is just a whole nother. And when you're that type of person, coming from that type of place, it's not about hip hop culture. It's about what do I have to do to get this, because this means the world to me. This is my value is here. This makes me a man. This makes me a woman. This is what this is. And you know, when we're young, we get caught up. We get in our late 20s, early 30s, 30s. We start to, oh shit, damn, they tried to tell me. I didn't want to listen. Oh shit, I'm looking at 25 to 50. I'm looking at who snitched on me.
But even that became a badge of honor. That became a badge of honor to go to prison.
Bro, it's a not only a badge of honor, it's a whole
subculture and subgenre of,
like, it's a whole thing where, bro, it's the prison industrial complex. It's the I got these communities that I know I got a constant base of criminality that I can exploit. I know they're not going to exercise their rights. I know they're not going to be employable. I know they're not going to, I know they're not. So how do I take what I know about them and use it to my advantage? Well, I, pumped in communities with negative shit, knowing they pick up on it, you get arrested. That shit just starts the wheels turning. Send you upstate. Send you upstate. You can't vote because you got a record now and you're locked up. The county that you go to gets to count you on their census. So now they get more representation in the state and federal government based on prison populations. That's why they ship black and brown bodies from cities upstate. And you have a whole community now
that is employed by the jail. Yeah, that's employed by the jail. That's the biggest show in the town.
Right. You got all this. It's an industry based on black and brown bodies because jokers think it's sexy and cool to shoot each other.
So, question.
And sell drugs.
Question. Has hip hop,
niggonometry,
this is kind of rhetorical, but I want your spill on it based off of what you just said. Has hip hop coming from street culture, invading hip hop, has it been, if you think it has been, and how has it been weaponized against black and brown people? Has it been?
For sure.
And how has it been?
Okay. So understand what music is: vibration, energy, right? When we all get attached to a rhythm, a vibration, we're all on the same page at that point. We got millions, billions of people all on the same page. That means I can control millions and billions of people. So let's get them all on the same page. We want to get them all on the same page by the lowest common denominator. We don't want to work hard. We don't want to try to build these people up. We want to keep these people primed for exploitation. So we keep them at a low state of vibration. Music is the best way to do that. That's why the trap music sound low vibration. And you slow it down, which slows down the heart rate. So when I get everybody into this thing, it becomes trance music at that point. We in a club, we alcohol out, we smoke, we drugs, we all on this, but we all on the same vibration. And the vibration is murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill, murder, death, kill. Now, go back to coon music, which is an actual genre of music that came around after slavery, where it was white people mimicking slaves in blackface, right? Minstrel shows. After a while, they wanted real niggas. So they went and got real niggas to mimic white people mimicking black people. Right? There's a song called Niggas Love Watermelon, Ha Ha Ha. That's an example of a coon song, which later became the ice cream truck song.
Mm-hmm. You broke that down on my other show.
Everybody on code. You hear that? We dancing to our own demise. We going to get treats, sweets, goods. We have We hear this song, you automatically think, I want something good. The good humor, man. I want something, mind you, they got a song playing, mocking you, degrading you, calling you all types of niggas. Niggas love watermelon, ha ha ha. Jokes on you, nigga. Coon music, right? So when you look at the music that we're being put out today, it's the same thing. It's white executives who've established the imagery that they want to see from black people. You may have black people overseeing, white people, black people directing and overseeing, but ultimately when you get to the top of the pyramid, it's white people saying, this is what we're going to allow, this is what we're not going to allow. And then they don't have to tell you. You turn on the TV, you turn on the radio, you turn on your streaming platform, you hear where everybody's tuned in, and you get tuned in too. And it's what you do. But it's up to us who are not fucking robots. It's up to us who are not to create something different, create something new. Not necessarily for the sake of what people who are robots are going to think. For instance, Vincent van Gogh is considered one of the greatest artists of all time. In his era, he was a laughing stock. There was I forget what they call it, but it's like it has something to do, like it was like there was a popularized commercial form of art that everybody was into. If you didn't fit into the mold, you just didn't, jokers didn't really rock with you. I gotta get some water, bro.
Yeah.
My shit is all parched.
Yeah.
Looking crazy, man. So, he's the dude that cut his ear off. He was a little psycho, what have you. A little bothered. But
It's a thin line between genius and insanity anyway.
oh, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. But 70 years after he died, he ends up being considered one of the greatest artists of all time, and this is to this day.
Wow.
Right? So it might take people finding your art after you're dead and gone to then appreciate the message that you came to bring. And that's God. That's about God right there. That's not about record sales. That's about people being impacted by your message, identifying with your creativity, your energy, your God force. People being like, oh shit, that's the real hip hop right there. All that other shit, I don't know what the fuck that shit is. But when we look at what this is the shit, and they elevate it. For instance, black people don't give a goddamn about breakdancing.
Facts.
Now
But
it's in the Olympics.
in
Now
Japan, it's in the
yeah, now
Olympics.
it's in the Olympics. Starting 2024,
Wow.
breakdancing is an official event in the Olympics.
Wow.
In 2028, the Olympics is in LA. So I'm making music for the 2028. I'm trying to be headlining. I'm part of the American contingent of MCs representing real hip hop culture at the 2028, maybe 2024. We'll see what's up. The 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. And then you're going to see all these companies wanting to spend money and throw money at artists. And it's going to be all this money, but black people not going to get none of it. It's going to be white people and Asians and Latinos. And niggas is going to be in the trap.
Damn.
Hey, man.
Niggas going nigga.
And niggas going nigga. Niggonometry.
That's crazy to me. The thing that we took from our struggle and found something to do by doing it, found ways to bond, because I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for hip hop. I might see you, but I've known you, okay, that's Hakim from Channel Live. And then because you was Hakim from Channel Live, that's what got me to know who you was. I mean, you did move on the block, but you would have just been a nigga in the hood. The fact that you rapped, we might have built.
Nah, it would have been something else though.
Yeah, I mean,
all right. So it's the way it's again. Hip hop just happened to be the thing, or rap music really, because you knew me as a rapper.
Yes.
Right. You knew me from the music industry, the videos and all that. You didn't know me from like, the culture. You didn't know me from the street like that. Right. All right. So, but I'm from East Orange, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with Naughty, North, East Orange, Orange. People from that area know what it is. I'm different in that, I don't seem like I'm from there. I don't come across like that. You know, I got a lot of New York in me, and I used to go to summer camp every year. So I got exposed
You was a
to
fresh air fun kid.
something like that.
Got you.
But I got exposed to things that, you know, a lot of my friends didn't get exposed to, and it shaped me in a certain way, right? Where I vibrate differently, but this is where I'm from. These are my relatives. These are my blood. This is my people I came up with. You know what I mean? And you're like, damn, they know you? Like, you know these niggas? Like yeah, I grew up, I know them since 8 years old, 9 years old. It's my man. They you. They the same people that's in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Biggie is Biggie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
Fat
dude,
Chris.
it's
This is
Fat
fat.
Chris. It's that's the same people.
Yeah.
We were doing the same shit, same right. We same peer group. You know, we'd have known each other. And it's the same energy. I ain't no fuck boy. You ain't no fuck boy. So there it is. Boom.
But the reason why I said that, I think what I'm saying is that hip hop forces and creates bonds for the love of the music.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it might be people that I remember seeing. I don't get starstruck, but I have artists that I love that I just because I just love the art. I don't know you as a man. I don't know you as a person, but from that art, I rock with you. And I remember seeing I remember being in Olive Garden and seeing Hellraiser from Sons of Man in there. Now, who the average person has no clue who Hellraiser from Sons of Man is.
Heaven
But I
Raiser.
know hip hop and hip hop culture. So I look and I say, yo, that's that kid from Sons of Man. I didn't hit him in there because he was with his family. I respect people's space. I went on MySpace. That's how long ago it was. I went on MySpace and said, yo, I found his MySpace and I said, yo, I saw you in Olive Garden today, but I didn't want to. He was like, yo, that was me, was good. So what happened was we formed the bond off of that, but the bond started from me loving his art and him being from Brooklyn. So the point I'm making is that I am what people used to be, the fan first. The fan first and respecting and appreciating the art that you bring forth. And then if I could get to know you via conversing with you, that makes it all better. But if I never get to meet you and converse with you, I feel like I already know you based off your art. Now, these artists are coming in the game with a blue check, 400,000 subscribers, and they're already like famous, but nobody knows who the hell they are. I'm like, yo, how did he get on the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, they got the what they call it. They got the program. You know, you buy your views, buy your likes, you buy that shit.
Now, where does that come from, though? That comes from what I said was the street hustler coming in. Yeah, I'm just going to come in and get a quick flip. I'm going to invest this. Like when dude says, I invested $2 million in Meg Thee Stallion. Well, what did you invest? What did you pay for? Like, what do you mean you invested in her? So,
all right, can I steer the conversation left, right, fast?
Go ahead.
This reminds me of something. All right, so I don't know if you know, last year the pyramid scheme was hot and heavy.
The PPP thing?
No, well that's a whole nother conversation. But the pyramid scheme, the fake susu.
Oh, I stayed away from all that, but I did get wind of it. I seen it on Facebook. It was very popular.
Right. So what I realized is that the grift is heavy, bro. The grift is heavy, and it's all these different ways to grift or to create the illusion of something so you can get the quick flip. You can snatch up as much as you can right now before people realize what's what. You don't move on to the next.
Yeah.
So it's like that energy of the quick flip. It's not just the music. It's a lot of shit where people are thinking, scamming, hustling, but it's a lot of cloak and dagger, a lot of mystery, not a lot of substance, not a lot of real value in what people are pushing nowadays. It's kind of hard to get to even not to give it a bad name, the NFT crypto game seems real prime for grifting. creating this thing that doesn't really exist to then establish value that's not real. Now, I think it's something I think it's taking over, and it's something that we just gonna have to deal with because of digital, the way, everything's digital, and the destabilization of banking and all that stuff, and being able to transfer money back and forth. So something that we're gonna deal with, but the idea that we could just say, oh, this thing is worth that, and it is because we said it is, which is all the dollar really is, but it's controlled. There's safety nets. There's rules and regulations that you could, with this right here, it just opens up an avenue where you can grift. You could just create false illusion, collect the value right fast, and move on before people realize what's up.
You know what I feel like is that now? I feel like podcasting has become that. I feel like it's a lot of rappers who suck dick, can't talk, are good orators. They can't speak. They don't know hip hop culture, and they kind of failed as a rapper to a certain extent. So now they want a podcast because that's just the new hustle.
It's a new hustle.
They don't care about journalism. They don't care about hip hop culture. They don't care about nothing. They said, okay, Nori was successful. Joe Budden is successful. I can do it too. But I remember Hakim having a podcast back 7-8 years ago with you and General Steele, which we are
broadcasters.
Illegal broadcaster.
Big shout out to Cynical. Big shout out to Al Meese.
Yes,
big shout out to General Steele. Yeah.
And Finster Bundy.
Big shout out to Finster Bundy.
Yeah.
You know your shit, bro. You know your shit, bro.
Because this is what I really do.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't have these talks because this is not what they really do. This is what they're doing to get this. And the minute they don't get this from it, they say, I left that alone. I ain't had the time. Like, I feel like when stuff open back up, a lot of these rappers is not going in no studio every week to do a podcast. You know what I'm saying?
I do knowledge.
They're not going to do it.
But I understand. But, the real will do what's real. And we'll just keep it moving and keep doing what we do. And that's a beautiful thing. Like, because I like that. Because if you faking, well, you don't need to be over here anyway.
I just don't like... I don't like inflation of stuff. I don't like stuff being watered down because everybody jumps into it. My thing is, okay, you got a podcast. Who said you know how to speak well? Who said you know? Who? And I'm going to be real with you. A lot of these dudes are not doing well, but you would know that though. Because when you think about podcasting, it's two things. You have YouTube aspect, but then you have podcasting, which is really audio.
That's all it is.
Tell them to show you them audio numbers. And when you look, and only 300 people look, but then when you go to YouTube, you see 400,000 views, you can't buy those audio numbers. So, well, you can do it on SoundCloud. But you can't do it on some of them other programs. Only thing you can do is boost yourself in the ranking. You could go to Fiverr, and so when they say I got the #1 podcast, it's like, well, you paid $10 for that. That don't mean nothing. Show the numbers. Show the analytics. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about the grifting thing that I don't like. Is like if you got a t-shirt, instead of me saying, okay, Hakeem got t-shirts, I'm going to get some hats. Yo, you get some flip-flops. We control the market. People say, well, shit, that nigga got t-shirts. He did this. I'm getting t-shirts. I'm actually even going to like bite his logo a little bit. I'm going to, and I'm tired of the people just jumping in things because they can, not because they want to. And they look at everything as a hustle. So when people say to me, I'm going to be real with you. When people say, yo, I'm a hustler, I never respect them. I never respect. Go ahead.
Yeah, to your point, it used to be a thing, or it is a thing in hip hop culture. No biting allowed. Like that's a thing. That's a rule. That's an ethic, a moral, that's an MVP. Morals, values, principles. No biting allowed. Copying somebody or stealing from somebody wasn't hip hop.
Most frowned upon thing in hip hop.
It's not hip hop.
If I use these drums, you better not use these drums. You better use them different. If I use this sample, the things that people like French Montana do, not to single him out, but he does it. So when he comes out and you hear the, I'm like, yo, ain't that the beginning of Deja Vu? Yo, so he's doing Deja Vu over. Then it's like Wyclef did it for Shakira, The Hearts Don't Lie. So it was a point in time with me, even to this day.
Well, there's one thing when you paying homage. Like there's times where I will purposely say something that's to give homage to that thing.
Nah, but niggas be biting.
But jokers be straight up biting.
Niggas be biting.
Like straight up biting. Like if you watch somebody and you do your shit exactly how they do their thing, no, you're supposed to be different. You're supposed to not be the same. You could be in the same lane, but don't drive the same car, my nigga. Like,
well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, my thing is this. My thing is this. If I somehow say in a rap, wake up in the morning, got me yearning for herb. Yo, Hakim, you have to. But dudes just say, wake up in the morning, got me yearning for herb, and act like they didn't get it from you.
Like they didn't get
This is what we're doing now.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Every time I hear anybody say, wake up in the morning, I be like, that nigga biting.
Well, we gotta give it to Teddy Penn. We gotta give it to Teddy Penn to grab. Wake up, everybody. But I understand what you're saying.
That's it. I mean, wake up. Wake up in the morning. Wake up in the morning and sling that shit. Give my credit, my nigga. Give my credit.
But no. But see, people don't understand. They're saying sampling. Sampling is different because even with sampling, you had to manipulate the record to sample a certain way. And when you didn't do that, it was called jacking their shit. Niggas is just jacking. Ice Cube was the first person to say, yo, I'm stealing their beats.
Right.
Now dudes is stealing the beats, but acting like they're not, though.
Right now, but not to the, like, there's a thing in hip-hop, right, with the graffiti artists especially, where, you know, jokers will go over your shit, spit, you know what I mean, and cross your shit out.
Spit, yeah.
Like niggas is like, that's right, nigga, I took your shit. What, nigga, what the fuck you gonna do? That's kind of some hip-hop shit, though. If you know, but there's a style that you have to eat.
Yeah, but it's wild.
Like Ice Cube jacking niggas for their shit. Like there's a whole thing with history with Ice Cube stealing people's beats out, like taking the real word that's they doing. Give me that shit. I think he did it to like Cypress Hill is the story of it. He did it to some other people. But the dude does a song called Jacking for Beats where he's telling niggas, nigga, I take your shit too. Nigga, what? Like that's kind of fire.
But it was a theme to it. But he acknowledged, even if you down with my crew, yo, Chuck, man, I'll jack you too. You talk about Public Enemy. People don't even realize that the Welcome to the Terror Dome beat comes on when he says that. So it was a theme to it. Now, dudes,
he jacked.
Yeah. Now, dudes he didn't jack EPMD on that.
On that one, yeah, he did.
What beat?
One of them.
No, that's no. He jacked
Humpty Hump.
Yeah, no, he jacked Big Old Butt. That sounds like a EPMD.
Big Old Butt. Nah, he got. I'm gonna find where I get that shit. I'm sure EPMD is in there.
Oh. So what you saying? I think so. What you saying? Yes. So what you saying? You're absolutely right.
And just for the record, EPMD was rhyming over funk beats before the West Coast craze. Just had to put that out there. That's Eric
Sermon. That's all Eric Sermon and EPMD. EPMD.
Yeah, this is 87, 86, 87.
No. And let's clarify. George Clinton is from Jersey, so stop it. Period.
Well, somebody said he's from somewhere else. He just lived in Jersey before he went out. So by that analogy, it's like Michael Jordan's from Brooklyn, but not really.
Okay, so by that analogy, Nas is from Brooklyn.
Nas is from. By that analogy, KRS is from Brooklyn.
See, could you? Oh, wait. Before we go, it is people who argue me down when I say KRS-One is from Brooklyn. They say no, he's the Bronx. Could you break that down for people real quick?
KRS-One was born in Flatbush lived in Flatbush the first few years of his life. Then they moved to Harlem. They was in Harlem for a little while. Then they moved back to Brooklyn. He was in Brooklyn until he became homeless as like a 14, 15-year-old. That's when he went up to the shelter in the Bronx. But most of his life, early life, growing up life, was in Brooklyn.
Okay, y'all.
Yeah. And he, from what I understand, co-wrote Brooklyn, always fucking fresh.
Wow.
Brooklyn's in the house.
What was that?
Which
The
is the
Dismasters?
Which is the first, that's the first borough record.
Is that the Dismasters?
I don't know. No, that's not the Dismasters. I forget who it is.
Brooklyn.
Always fucking fresh.
Yeah.
Brooklyn. Always for Brooklyn's in the house. Yeah, so
shout out to
KRS.
Daddy-O too for doing that. Go Stetson, putting that Go Brooklyn. Because Daddy-O also did Top Billin' beat.
No, I didn't know that.
I'm about to say your hip hop.
I just always assumed Giz did that shit.
What's in Top Billin'? Go Brooklyn.
Go Brooklyn.
Go Brooklyn. Yeah, Daddy-O did Top Billin' beat. Oh, he called a check off of Mary J. Blige Real Love.
Wow.
That's his drum programming.
Wow. So you mean to tell me they
Cutmaster DC.
They sampled Daddy-O, or Daddy-O programmed that beat for Top Billin'?
He did Top Billin' beat.
Wow, I never knew. I just assumed that was Giz.
Nah, he did Top Billin' beat. It's even on the record.
Damn.
It's on the record.
Gotta take my card from me.
Yeah. I'm about to say, come on, bro. You gotta. Yeah, he did that, and that's nothing but impeach the president. Chop like. I never heard impeach the president like that. That's one of the hardest beats in hip hop history.
See, like again, back to the break beat. The idea, like the culture growing out of manipulating the break beat, taking the meaty part of a record around the breakdown, the get down part. I was always called the get down. Break beat was called the get down, the get down part. And that's when you got your get down. You 1-2 on.
Hence that show on Netflix.
Right, exactly. The culture grows from that. And of course the graffiti, everything else kind of is not MCing. It's not MCing. It's not DJing per se. It's the break beat and dancing to the break beat part of the record, and then them kids coming to the parties, creating their own thing that was counter to what everything else was. Everything else, the pimping, hustling, number running, gambling, drugs, gangsterism, all that's going on already. This was something that said, nah, we're not really even paying attention to that. We the nerds at the time.
The clowns almost. Dudes walking around with cardboard.
We was clowns.
Dudes walking around with cardboard so they could break dance.
Then you can say
get a refrigerator box, it was on. You get a refrigerator box, it was on.
Can I spit a bar?
Of course. You could close us out with that.
Make something from nothing by uttering the word. Niggas don't get it. I must be stuttering from the herb. Y'all be cluttering in the burbs, hovering with nerds. I'm trying to build shelter from the oncoming purge. Donald Trump is tripping. I'm trying to stave the surge. Do it for the bricks with Springfield Ave Market merge. Get my brothers out the county. See the city reemerge. I'm trying to keep it straight for my people living on the curve. This motherfucker got the nerve. Must not have heard. I'm tired of the pimps, pushes, fiends, and the pervs. I'm fired with the bars, metaphors, and the verbs. I want to see him go to college. And I make them whores on the curb. It's all so disturbed, so I stay high as a bird. Niggas want the smoke, ring me up, you'll get served. I'm sick with technique, I'm ill with the maneuver. DJs want my effect like they were straight out the sewer. I'm not a talker, I'm a doer. Find me in the viewer. I'm so underground, it's the Barbie on the skew. I'm a grown man in this young world. I feel like I'm Rick the Ruler. I'm trying to get out these bars, but I'm not Robert Mueller. Cause the rhymes I say, sharp as a nail, witty as can be and not for sale. Always funky fresh, could never be stale. Took a test to become an MC and didn't fail.
Hit him with the DMC at the end. So give him your social media.
That's at Hakim Green, HAKIMGREEN, like you see it right there, and at madism.info. That's Facebook and Twitter. Also, madism.info is the website. Madism.info.
Where you can get the merch.
Merch, you got the cipher, t-shirts, music, all that right from the website, madism.info.
Okay, so I'll make sure that's the first pinned comment and also in the description box, madism.info. You also do a show.
Madism.info.
What's your YouTube? Give me your YouTube.
Oh, the YouTube is Madism. YouTube.com/C/Madism. That's the team. Got Madism TV, which is a 101 interview platform that I do. And then we also have Madism Sports with my co-hosts Big West, Cliff, and KG from Naughty by Nature. And
Where
we
my
do that
KG interview?
Yeah, I hooked that up for you, no doubt.
Yeah,
I got him. We every Thursday 7 o'clock, Madism Sports. Check in with us. We have a good time talking about whatever's going on in sports that week.
Dope,
Yeah,
dope, dope.
it's dope. Yeah.
So as what if somebody asked, are y'all doing the 24 hours a piece this year?
Actually, yeah, I just talked to Newark. Now that COVID is kind of waning away, the numbers is coming down.
Of course, when you say that, I'm like on the low. I've been muting myself.
Yeah, so prayers to you, bro.
Yes.
But yeah, you already know. So yeah, we're looking to do something in Newark, New Jersey for 24 hours a piece. Thank you for asking. That's dope.
But if they follow you on social media, they can stay.
For sure. Also, this Madism thing is real for me. So I started a company, Madism Inc. It's an entertainment company, right? But I'm also looking at the cannabis industry as it blooms and blossoms. Of course, we know hip hop is responsible for this whole thing because we made it culturally relevant and we brought all the potheads out the closet. So now it's this big economic thing. I created Madism to capture that energy for hip hop, to capture that energy. So it's a web journal, which is madism.info. It's an entertainment company, Madism Inc. But you're also going to see ancillary products. Of course, the strains is coming. All that good stuff is coming. I'm just taking my time, making sure all my dominoes are set up right so when I knock them over, they fall correctly. But we got this single called The Cypher featuring KRS-One, produced by Ron Lawrence from The Hitmen. That's out right now.
Two Kings in a Cypher.
Two Kings in a Cypher. Ain't that?
With D-Dot.
Well, when you listen to the song and you hear it, I'm going to let you figure it out. I ain't going to tell you, but since you're a real hip-hop head, you'll be able to dissect that song and tell me what's what.
They had a song called For the Brothers Who Ain't Here. That's right. The Mad Rapper and Armin Ra Lawrence. He did
Hypnotize.
But besides Hypnotize, they going to know him for the beat he did for Jay-Z, Where I'm From.
Where I'm From. Yeah.
He did that. He did Hypnotize. Yeah. He did Where I'm From. He did something like a phenomenon for LL. Money, Power, Respect.
Respect. Yeah. Yep. So he's mega. I'm very happy with this project. We just got finished. Actually, I'm waiting for the Carl Thomas to give me his joints.
I need a Carl Thomas interview too.
Yo, you got that right away.
And Ron Lawrence also did a documentary about how the founding fathers of hip hop, how hip hop possibly started in Brooklyn.
And what I told you about Paradise.
So I love that. I love that document because I'm actually the one who pushed it originally. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. The Founding Fathers.
Yes. It's on YouTube. They could look that up. The Founding Fathers.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's
awesome. How some dudes came from the X down to the K and was like, oh, I'm taking this back up top.
Yeah. Actually, I got an interview with Paradise Gray next week on the Madism TV platform. And we're going to get into that whole history about that because he dropped it on me a couple days ago about the first flyer with hip hop on it.
You said it, yeah.
Was a party from Brooklyn.
Yes.
Whoa.
So it is rumored that the first person to say hip hop was Kid Creole. That's what he said.
I don't know. I've heard different. I've never heard Kid Creole. I heard Cowboy. I've heard not Love Buck Starsky. You gotta believe. Love Buck Starsky.
Okay.
Yeah, Love Buck Starsky. I've heard him as the first person to coin the phrase cowboy. But I've also heard through DXT that it's a derogatory term when it was first used because it was like, get these hippity hoppity cats out of here. They fucking up the party.
Well, look at the hat. My nationality is hip hop.
Exactly. I'm hip hop to the T.
That's what this hat say. Look.
Mm-hmm.
So Hakim, thank you for joining me as normal. You know we do this ever so often, and just
Yeah,
end up building for 2 hours about
yeah.
hip hop
Online and
history,
offline.
online and offline. The phone, what they was just privy to our phone conversation,
Yeah, no
because this
doubt.
this
Yes,
what
sir.
we talk about. And somebody said it was Cowboy, yeah, but I remember it's a seating at a table where it's Curtis Blow, Kumo D, Kid Creole, a few people, and I believe that he said either he said he first said hip hop or yes yes y'all, one of the two. But it's in one of these documentaries. It might have been Rhyme or Reason or one of them or the show. It might be one of those documentaries if y'all get a chance. But I Hakim, you can spark an ism. I'm going to sign you out and
Salute, brother. Thank you for
until
having
next
me.
time. Yep. So I'll build
Yes,
with you
sir.
later on. All right.
One.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Man.
Yeah. So that was Hakeem Green from the almighty Boogie Down Productions crew, Channel Live, Mad Info, madism.info is his channel. Make sure you tune in, tap in. Hakeem Green on all social media. I want you to go hit him on the DM if you're not following him, and just talk to him about what you heard today. And if you like what you heard and you appreciate it, I need you to hit the like button and share. And those type of things. I need you to subscribe. And that's really it. So yeah, I just wanted to just talk hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I got some other things coming, but I just like talking about the culture with people who I know the culture, is in the culture, and love the culture. So that's what this conversation is about. You know what I'm saying? So we're slated, what I'm looking at right now, we might do about 5,000-6,000 views on this video, and I'm fine with that. 6,000 views talking about hip hop is like a million to me. So I thank y'all. Shout out to everybody who did donate via the super chat. I did not ignore you. I just was just in the flow of things, stuff like that. So with that, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back. I'm starting to try to go live a little earlier because I know people work and different like that, things like that. So by the time I'm getting off line, it's not at midnight. It's not at 1 p.m. It's like, at a decent time. So it is what it is. Yes, free all political prisoners, free Mumia, free Matulu, free a lot of the guys who are locked up unjustly for you know been locked up before some of us was born. So that's what it is. I'm Doggie Diamonds. Yes, that is the same Hakeem Green who told that story about how contracts work. He's just a walk-in knowledge base. He was actual a teacher, so which is dope. So it is what it is. So I'm Doggie Diamonds. Until next time, I am out of here. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Peace. Make sure you click subscribe, youtube.com/Doggie Diamonds TV. Until next time, peace.